My name is Gennie. I'm 21. I live with my mom in a small apartment in a neighborhood where nothing exciting ever seems to happen. Life used to feel routine, predictable, until the day Trot moved in. Mom decided to rent out our spare room to help with bills. He was older, 45, a quiet man who worked late and carried himself with a calm confidence. At first, I barely noticed him, but soon I realized he noticed me. His eyes lingered, his words hung in the air longer than they should, and his presence began to feel different. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe it was just politeness, maybe I was imagining it, but deep down, something told me it was. Everything changed the night Mom left to visit my grandmother. Suddenly, it was just him and me in the apartment. That evening, I stepped out of the shower wearing only a long shirt. I thought he was asleep, but when I opened my bedroom door, it creaked softly, and there he was, standing in the hallway. His eyes flickered over me, then quickly back to my face. "You'll catch a cold like that," he said with a small smirk. I shrugged, trying to sound casual. "It's warm inside." His gaze lingered, heavy. "Still, you should be careful. Someone might lose their train of thought." Then he turned and walked away, leaving my heart pounding. I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. His voice echoed in my mind, his eyes replaying over and over. And for the first time, I wondered if maybe he felt what I was starting to feel too. The next morning, over breakfast, he handed me a cup of coffee. His fingers brushed mine, deliberate or not, I couldn't tell. "You went to bed late last night," he said casually. I raised an eyebrow. "And how would you know that?" He leaned back, eyes narrowing slightly. "Maybe you left your door open on purpose." The way he said it made me almost choke on my coffee. My cheeks burned, but I said nothing. And in that silence, I realized a game had begun, subtle, dangerous, but impossible to stop. All day, it was the same. He moved around me like a shadow, brushing against me in the hallway, holding my gaze a little too long, lowering his voice when he spoke to me. And every time I pretended not to notice, though inside my chest, something burned hotter with every glance. That night, I deliberately wore the same shirt and went into the kitchen for water. Trot was at the table, laptop open, pretending to read. But when he looked up, his eyes swept over me in a way that left no doubt. "You're wearing that again," he said softly. I leaned against the table. "It's comfortable. Does it bother you?" He shut the laptop slowly, his expression calm but his voice tense. Not bothered, distract. He walked past me, brushing my shoulder, and paused at the doorway. Without looking back, he said, "You know exactly what you're doing, Gennie." Then he disappeared into his room. I stood frozen, every nerve alive. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just a game. It was a line neither of us should cross, and yet both of us wanted to. That night, I couldn't sleep. I paced my room, the silence of the apartment heavy around me. My mind replayed every word, every glance. Finally, I heard footsteps in the hallway. His door creaked, then closed again. He hadn't come in, but he was awake, waiting. I hesitated, my hand on my doorknob. Then, without thinking, I opened it. He was standing by the window, staring out at the night sky. Without turning, he said quietly, "Did you come for water or for something else?" I swallowed hard. "What if I came for you?" He turned slowly, his eyes darker than I'd ever seen. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then, in a low voice, he said, "Then come in. My door's not locked." My breath caught. I didn't think, I just stepped toward him. That night changed everything. It wasn't loud, it wasn't rushed. It was slow, careful, as if every second had been building to this moment. His hands were steady but trembling at the same time, and my heart felt like it would break out of my chest. By morning, the world felt different, lighter. Our secret filled the air around us, dangerous but intoxicating. At breakfast, he didn't speak much, but when his hand brushed mine again, it was deliberate, and I didn't pull away. The following days blurred together, every glance heavier, every touch bolder. Until finally, he said the words that made my breath catch. "Do you want me to take you away from here? Somewhere we don't have to hide?" I hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, I want to be with you everywhere." And just like that, the decision was made. We left the city together. To anyone else, it looked like a man moving on with his life and a young woman chasing something new. But to us, it was freedom. We rented a small place near the coast where no one knew our names. He opened a little workshop, and I found work in a cafe. Every day he came in for coffee, always with that same smile, the same eyes that told me, "You're mine." At night, we walked along the beach, the waves washing over our feet. And in those moments, I realized my home wasn't walls or a roof or even the city I grew up in. My home was him, his arms, his voice, his presence. The world might never understand us, but we didn't care anymore. What we had wasn't just a secret, it was the start of everything. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid to live it. Afraid to